Welcome to all the delegates and officers of the Northeast jurisdiction. Welcome to your 2021 Northeast Jurisdictional Convention. The day and time is finally here, so as we get this event underway, I want to thank the chapter leaders from all across the Northeast for representing your members at today's session. I'm thankful you took the opportunity to participate in the testing session last night and logged in early enough to watch the platform tutorial for today. So should you lose connection, don't panic. Just simply go back to your personal link and come back into the session. So this is the 20th convention that we've done electronically so far this year. First 19 were successful, and I would expect that yours will be too. So now to officially get the convention underway, I have the honor and pleasure to introduce your jurisdictional president, John Ellis. John is a dedicated Woodmen Life member and has a great passion for our good work. And I want to join this delegation in saying thank you, John. And to support you, a team of folks have really worked hard to make today's session a great one. So let's get started. So I'll now turn this session over to President Ellis. So please unmute yourself and address your delegation.
Thank you, President Dees. Welcome to New York, New England 2021 Jurisdictional Convention. At this time, I would officially like to declare this convention open. Well, you've heard the saying that may you live in interesting times. Well, our wish has been granted. Adversity gives birth to opportunity, and Woodmen Life has been taking advantage of opportunities since 1890. Woodmen Life has survived World War I, World War II, the Great Depression, the Great Recession, and yet through all of that and through this pandemic, has continued to remain strong, focused on its core mission of making families whole after a catastrophic loss of a part of their family. However, our secondary mission, that is the fraternal side of what Woodmen Life does, couldn't be any more important than in these days, fighting the loss of income, the loss of government support, and even the loss of hope. More than anything, the hard work of our chapter has kept hope from being lost in many communities, fighting hunger, providing equipment and food to worthy organizations to meet a basic need that we all have. I'm so very proud of all of you and your efforts on behalf of our New York, New England jurisdiction. As we fight and win against this great pandemic, we will again be able to enjoy each other's company. Until then, thank you for this great opportunity to serve as your president and to fight alongside you to offer hope to our communities. Without further ado, I'm happy to allow Robbie Maloney to serve as chair pro tem to navigate our agenda today.
Well, thank you, President. Thank you, President Ellis. I appreciate your confidence in me. And for those that I haven't met yet, I'd like to share a little bit about my Woodmen Life journey with you. In 1993, I was hired as a fraternal coordinator in South Carolina, and I served the members there until September of '98 when I moved my family to Lakeland, Florida. I served as chapter president several times in our 21 years in Lakeland and was fortunate enough to be the jurisdictional president in 2007 to 2009. I also served on the National Legislative Committee and the National Judiciary Committee before our move to Omaha in 2019. I am honored to be with you today, and I look forward to a great experience. I am here only to help navigate the complexities of this electronic convention. We are using technology, so we may ask your patience as we move through this agenda. One thing I do want to bring to your attention is how to communicate with us during this convention. On the left side of your screen at the top, there should be an icon in the center of the screen that looks like a double chat bubble. If you click on that, it opens up the message box. And the message box will open on the bottom left side of the screen, and it says, ask a question. If you want to say something, just type in, I want to speak, and we will prompt you to raise your hand, and you'll receive another pop-up box prompting you to unmute yourself. Go ahead and click on unmute, introduce yourself, and please begin speaking. If you don't see that message box, it may be covered by your taskbar, and you'll need to go into your settings and likely make some adjustments. I hope everybody's ready for today. The very first thing I want to do with you is start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you will, please rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. You may be seated. I would now like to introduce Woodman Life Associate and the leader of our production crew today, Kyle Savage, who will lead us in a prayer.
Join me if you'd like. Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other in excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. God, I ask your blessings upon this group, upon this organization, and upon this country. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kyle. I'd now like to announce that we have 47 credentialed and duly elected delegates to the jurisdiction of the Northeast. We have a quorum. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. First things first, each of you were mailed copies of the 2019 Jurisdictional Convention minutes and the most recent Treasurer's Report. If you have any corrections to make, now is the time to make them. Type in "I want to speak" into the message box and we'll get you prompted through to make your correction. We'll pause just a bit to give everybody time to speak up. And I'll remind you that's that double chat bubble, left side of your screen at the top. Click on that, opens the message box, and that's where you type in "I want to speak." All right, so we have Calvin Castine. Calvin, if you would please raise your hand. It's that open palm looking icon. Click on that and they'll send you a note to unmute yourself, or a pop-up box to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted, I believe. Okay, I think I'm unmuted now. My computer says I'm not
I
muted.
can hear you. Calvin, are you there?
I'm there. My computer says I'm not muted. Can you hear me?
Calvin, if you're having trouble with your microphone or something like that, you're welcome to type in any sort of edit that you would have made, and I'm happy to read it for you, sir.
Calvin, it does look like your microphone is unmuted, but we cannot hear you, so you might have the wrong microphone selected. From the bottom left corner of your Zoom panel, the little microphone, you might need to click on that up arrow and select a different microphone. Maybe you have headphones or something else connected, so you might want to give that a try.
Try
I
that
see
one.
your other note here. It says just okay and thank you.
Yep,
I want to give you a chance to talk, so if there's something you want to say, you can type it in or do like was just suggested and click on a different microphone.
Okay.
Calvin, if you could let me know one way or the other if you were still trying or if you want to forego whatever you were saying, we can get moving. Okay, I see your comment. At the last meeting, you spoke of displeasure with the society leaving New York State. I appreciate your comments, sir. They are noted for the record. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Well, hearing no more, the minutes and treasurer's reports will stand approved as presented. Oh, I'm sorry. I spoke a little quickly there. I got a Robert Grosso, if you would like to speak, please raise your hand and we'll get you prompted through so you may make your correction. Calvin, I see your note as well. We'll certainly add your notes about the displeasure of Woodmen Life leaving New York State in a sales capacity. We'll put that in the minutes, sir.
He does, and what does he need to go to?
Mr. Grosso, I know maybe you're trying to prompt yourself through.
Hold on.
Make sure you raise your hand. They'll find you and send you a box to unmute yourself.
Is there an audio?
But if you're finding it difficult to
Hold on, Mickey.
get your microphone to work, you're welcome to type in what you'd like to say, and I'm happy to share it with everybody.
Hold on. Mickey's on the phone.
I got your note again, Calvin.
Mickey, I keep clicking the unmute, but nothing seems to happen. It just goes back to it.
Mr. Grosso, I assume you're still trying to make it work. Again, if you would like to just type in what you would have liked to have shared, I'm happy to read it off for everyone.
I can connect through my telephone, which you're talking to me on here.
Well, sir, I got, Mr. Grosso, I got your note. You're looking through the minutes. You feel more should be added. I'm happy to add whatever you'd like to add, sir. If you can get unmuted and speak, you can share it. If not, please type it in, and I'm happy to read it.
It says select the microphone, same as system, but just doesn't. Audio options. Okay, so if I choose the audio option, I'll still keep my computer video going, but they'll. Okay.
Okay, look, I'm not sure if any more messages are coming.
Okay.
We've got the note that the general consensus was folks were unhappy with the decision.
6 different numbers to call.
About
Any one of those? Any one of those?
sales leaving.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Mr. Grosso, some of the minutes, especially the second page, seem to be just a repeat of the agenda and feel that the minutes should be updated. Thank you for your comments. We'll certainly note that. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to change in the minutes or the treasurer's report? Any edits or corrections? All right, well, hearing no more, the minutes and treasurer's reports will stand as approved as presented. Thank you all very much. It has been a difficult time through this pandemic, but we've been able to maneuver through it all behind the great leadership of our president and CEO. It is now my pleasure to reintroduce our president, Pat Dees. Please turn your attention to your screen for our president's message.
Welcome to your 2021 Jurisdictional Convention. Thank you for your flexibility, as our conventions look a lot different this year. My message for you is going to look a little different this year too. I'm going to give you an idea of how today's electronic convention will look, and I'll also take a few minutes to answer some questions that may be on your mind. First, let's talk about why we're meeting electronically today. The short answer is that we need to keep everyone safe. Sadly, as of this recording, we've processed more than 600 death claims within the Woodmen Life family related to the coronavirus. We know that restrictions are different in every area, but the best way to protect everyone and uphold our representative form of governance is to hold these jurisdictional conventions electronically. I like that the new format allows me to be at every convention this year. And I've enjoyed connecting with your jurisdictional president to coordinate the technical support for this meeting. We revised our Constitution to be able to meet with you this way. You still have a voice in the future of your organization. We'll still be able to accomplish what's needed for our representative form of governance as required by our bylaws. Next, let's look at how today will go. Today's session's agenda will be keenly focused on the necessary business that's required in the jurisdictional bylaws. Today, you'll elect a slate of officers to serve the jurisdiction for the next 4 years, and if eligible, elect national delegates to participate in our national convention on July 24th. You'll then hear a special message from a member of the Woodmen Life National Board who will recognize your incredible efforts in support of family, community, and country. So now I'd like to talk about some of the questions you may have on your mind. You may be wondering about the changes we announced at your 2019 jurisdictional conventions. At that time, I told you that annual regional celebrations would replace jurisdictional conventions. After reviewing the delegate surveys and further considering the needs in the organization and our members, we've decided to continue in-person jurisdictional conventions that will now take place every 4 years, occurring in the same year as the national convention. Jurisdictional officers that are elected today will serve for a term of 4 years instead of 2. We also still have plans to hold those annual regional celebrations beginning in 2022, and we'll announce more details when we can start planning for in-person events. Next, you're probably wondering about the national convention. So you will elect your national delegates today. As we continue to see restrictions in place and vaccinations being rolled out in phases in most states, we've made the decision to hold the national convention electronically as well. National delegates will join us on July 24, 2021, using the same electronic platform we're using today. Another question you may have is, what is the stream of income my chapter will receive? On the chapter level, as we previously discussed, your income will depend on the number of certificates held in your chapter. The percentage of growth or decline was applied to your 2020 allocation. And it's rewarding to see a large number of chapters grew in 2020. These chapters will receive more monthly income in 2021. The big question is my money still safe at Woodmen Life? I'm happy to say that your money is still safe with Woodmen Life. We were well prepared to not only weather the storm, but come out ahead. In fact, at year-end 2020, total assets were up 1.1% over 2019. And insurance in force was up $270 million. Total income over the past 2 years was just over $2.2 billion, including $1.4 billion in premium income and $792 million in net investment income. And this is really exciting. Thanks to your trust and confidence in us, our year-end 2020 numbers show that we've reached $11.2 billion in assets. Staying true to our conservative investment strategy, we now have $1.6 billion in surplus. As even further confirmation of our strength, an outside rating agency, AM Best, has reaffirmed our A+ superior rating for 2020. AM Best is an independent rating agency that rates insurance companies based on financial strength. Another thought, how has Woodmen Life been handling the pandemic? Our continued financial strength comes from quick action in responding to the pandemic. This was possible because your board and your leadership had already taken strategic action to grow and impact Woodmen Life membership. We'd already been working on the technology tools that ultimately helped us to continue to succeed during a tough time. Electronic applications, video calls for sales appointments, and an operating strategy that allows us to plan ahead have played large roles in our success today. I couldn't talk about the achievements without recognizing the people who made it all possible. Our nation is hurting, and unemployment has affected many of our members. We were very fortunate to successfully transition 95% of our home office team to working from home, with the other 5% providing essential support from the Woodmen Life Tower. Our home office associates are still working remotely, and our sales representatives are still able to conduct business online. These amazing individuals have gone above and beyond to continue to provide the service you need. We've also still been able to help new members get life insurance, which is so important, especially right now. I want to extend a special thank you to our sales leaders, Pat Prapampina, Chuck Dripple, and Jeremy Carroll. Thank you also to our regional directors who were challenged to find unique ways to lead their teams when orders differed by geographic location due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Next, I'd like to update you on the organization's leadership. It is truly an honor to serve as President and CEO and Chairman of the Board. I'm privileged to work alongside a team of talented executives who guide the organization. I am grateful for their leadership and expertise. Thank you also to our national directors who serve as the voice of our members and help develop our strategy. I'd like to recognize Ron Aldrich, who retired from the board this past fall, and Danny Rice, who will be retiring May 1st. Both of these leaders are longtime members who've made thoughtful, impactful contributions during their time on the board. Please also welcome new board member Catherine Mobley from Virginia. She's a CPA and has experiences that will bring value to the board. She's been an active Woodmen Life member for 14 years. We've also welcomed Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer Kyle McMahon to the board in January. From wherever you are, please take a minute now and give a round of applause to our National Board of Directors. They are Danny Rice, Dr. James Bosler, Dr. James Shaver, Michael Sheely, and Wesley Dodd Jr. Also, Daryl DeWeese, Danny Cummins, Dwayne Tucker, Bob Maher, and Catherine Mobley. And additionally, Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer Denise McCauley, Executive Vice President, Chief Financial Officer John Arney, and Executive Vice President, Chief Marketing Officer Kyle McMahon. What are the new plans for the future for Woodmen Life? You may wonder what the future will look like. Well, we are extremely optimistic about the future. We're in the process of rolling out our new accidental death benefit product. And some of you may have already received information on this product. We'll keep looking at the products our members need and want, as well as what additional offerings will make us more competitive in the market. We're also continuing to upgrade our technology to operate more efficiently and to provide better service for our members. Having the sales team equipped with electronic signatures and video calls is a prime example of our modernization. And these have made a huge difference for our business growth in the last year. We'll keep making decisions that grow our organization in smart ways and protect the financial strength. The pandemic has changed the way the world does business, and we plan to stay in step. And finally, I'll close with a question we're all asking. When will things return to normal? At this point, the answer is still, we don't know. Our decision to suspend fraternal activities was a very difficult one and unprecedented. However, there is not a uniform approach to restrictions and guidelines across the country. Each state has varied greatly in its recommendations, and this is still the case. Many of our most engaged members fit in the segment of the population that's most vulnerable to coronavirus, and the most community-supportive response is to continue to remain idle to reduce the spread of COVID-19. We all look forward to returning to our previous activities when we feel safe to do so. We are so proud of your engagement at a distance over the past year, as we found new ways to continue to help your communities. Later in the session, one of your national directors will go over your own jurisdiction's contributions and the organization's fraternal achievements as a whole. Thank you for joining us today and for your commitment to family, community, and country. We know this past year has been a challenge, and we appreciate your patience and dedication. Now, on to the business portion of your convention.
All right, thank you, President Dees, for that fantastic message. Please, everyone, join me with a round of applause for our president. Thank you very much, sir. I do have one announcement, Mr. Grosso. I do have your last note here. I think what you're describing is better served to be brought up during new business. We will have that opportunity right after the election of the officers and delegates. So I will prompt you. I put it in my notes. I'll prompt you to bring up your business then. Okay, sir? Thank you very much. I now want to bring your attention to the entities that your jurisdictional officers have chosen for your jurisdictional project. They've chosen to donate $3,000 to 10 food banks in support of fighting hunger. The food banks were selected by the active chapters within the jurisdiction. Each of the following will receive $300. The Connecticut Food Bank in Wallingford, Connecticut, Holy Cross Food Pantry in Middletown, New York, food pantries for the Capital District of Albany, New York, Open Door Mission of Glens Falls, New York, JCEO Champlain Pantry of Plattsburgh, New York, Salvation Army of Freeport, New York, Adirondack Community Action of Elizabethtown, New York, Tupper Lake Food Pantry of Tupper Lake, New York, Calvary Food Pantry of Auburn, New York, and the Franklin Grand Isle Community Action of St. Albans, Vermont. Thank you very much for supporting such worthy causes. Great job, everybody. We'll now talk about some fraternal excellence. Many great things have happened since our last convention, and you will now hear from National Director Michael Shealy to tell you about the great accomplishments from right here in the jurisdiction of the Northeast.
Good morning to all my friends from the Northeast region. Like all of you, I'm disappointed that we're having to meet electronically this year, but we will make the most of it. I pray that we're able to meet together in person sometime soon. I think we all have some handshakes and hugs we need to catch up on. I'd like to thank Jurisdictional President, Mr. John Ellis, for his accomplishments in spite of the pandemic. And on behalf of the National Board of Directors, I would like to thank you for your attendance at this 2021 Northeast Jurisdictional Convention. We would much rather be with you in person, but are grateful for each of you and the commitment that you have to Woodmen life. As you know, this past year has had its challenges. Our inability to participate in face-to-face fraternal activity has been one of them. Together, we've always been able to meet the challenges of our local communities by rolling up our sleeves and getting the job done. COVID-19 tried to interrupt the good work we do, but we did not let it keep us down. This past year, we actually had very high engagement with our chapters participating in our donation campaigns. This helped families in need all across America. Now let me share with you some of the great things that you did right here in the Northeast region in 2020. Over $1 million was donated to Feeding America, and the Northeast region raised $24,300 to help those in your community. $514,000 was raised in our Woodmen Life Back to School program, and you donated $7,750 in support of the local schools. $362,000 was raised in support of COVID-19 relief, and you donated $6,800 to organizations providing support throughout this region. We were able to partner with the Gary Sinise Foundation to make a donation of $500,000, and your contribution to this great partnership was $4,400. Our first year student loan relief program was successful with 200 students receiving $1,000, and this jurisdiction had 7 recipients. Since our last meeting, we had 1,482 students receive the Woodmen Life Focus Forward Scholarship, and 26 students in this jurisdiction received a total of $13,000 to assist in higher learning. And nearly 100,000 pounds of food was donated to support our national community focus fighting hunger. In the Northeast region, you were a big part of that success. Overall, Woodmen Life donated $3.5 million in support of those that need it the most. The Northeast region had 9 5-star chapters, which is 82%. None of that would have been possible without the help of your community outreach advisor, Mr. Mickey Pennington, who helped keep you engaged even though we had to suspend face-to-face fraternal activities. A special thank you to Regional Director Michelle Geibel and Administrative Assistant Bridget Criley, and also a big thanks to our recruiting sales managers and sales force that stayed out on the front line in our marketing areas, making sure that the necessary essential services were provided, and we are grateful for their hard work. Northeast region, we are proud of your accomplishments, and we know that you will continue to support the good work we do. Please continue to support our Woodman Life initiatives, and we look forward to meeting again in person. But until then, stay safe, and thanks for all you do.
Well, thank you, Director Shealy. It is inspiring to see all the great things that the chapters and members have done in the great states of New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and New Jersey. Okay, during the last 2 years, this jurisdiction has lost 217 members. We would now like to pay our respects for those who are no longer with us. Please turn your attention to your screen and join me in a moment of silence after this memorial video.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we know there's days to sing God's praise, and when we first begun, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see.
Thank you. We will now move forward with the election of our leadership to guide us for the next 4 years. We have a slate of officers and a slate of national delegates and alternates for your consideration that was supplied by your nominating committee. This committee consists of Wilfred Trombley, Robert Grasso, Linda Gagnon-Horn, Lucille Stemkowski, Ed Siebel, Donna Zabrowski, Doris Sullivan, Sherb House, and Michelle Geibel. We will first elect the jurisdictional officers, and they are as follows. President John Ellis, past President Wilfred Trombley, Vice President Linda Gagnon-Horn, Secretary Elaine Roman, Treasurer Carol Norton, Chair of the Auditors Jacqueline Fayette, the other auditors Joan Edwards, Margaret Davis, and Floyd Bursey. Chair of the Fraternal Service Committee Russell Blaze, other committee members Prescott Fayette, and Glenn McEntee. The nominating committee presents this slate for your approval and have confirmed their willingness to serve. But before we vote, are there any nominations from the floor? If you'd like to make a nomination for any of these positions, please type "I want to speak" into the message box. We'll get you prompted through so you can make your nomination. All right, I'll make sure to ask one more time if there's any nominations from the floor. Please type "I want to speak" into the message box, and we'll wait on you and get your nomination from you. Again, it's that double chat bubble on the left side of your screen, top center. Click on that, opens the message box, and that's on the bottom left. Type "I want to speak." All right, well, seeing none, nominations are now closed. We will now entertain a motion and a second to accept this slate as presented. If you'd like to make a motion to accept this slate, please type the word "motion" into the message box. Again, if you would like to make a motion to accept this slate as presented, well, there we go. We have it from Carol Norton. Thank you very much. If you would like to second that motion, please type the word "second" into the message box. And we have a second, and it just says H. House as the name. So thank you very much, H. House. All right, we've got a first and a second. Are there any questions, any debate about any of these? If you have questions or comments to make, type in "I want to speak" in the message box. All right, well, hearing none, we will move forward with a vote. You'll see this vote on your screen next. Vote for, against, or you may abstain. We'll get that vote set up for you right now. You'll have about 2 minutes to get that done, so please make your selection now. Got about 30 more seconds, folks. Please make your vote. All right, time is up. We will share with you the results on your screen next. For the motion to approve the officers, we have 47 voting for, none against, one has abstained. Officers, thank you very much for your willingness to serve. Congratulations. This slate is now approved and the motion has carried. We'll now move forward with the election of the delegates and alternates to the National Convention. They are the delegates, Margaret Urich and Lucille Stemkowski. The alternates, Philip Wagshaw and Robert Grasso. The nominating committee presents this slate for your approval and have confirmed their willingness to serve. But before we vote, are there any nominations from the floor for any of these positions? If you would like to make a nomination, please type "I want to speak" into the message box. Again, any nominations from the floor, click on that double chat bubble, opens up the box, type "I want to speak." We'll get you prompted through to make your nomination. All right, doesn't look like we're going to get any. Nominations are now closed. We'll now entertain a motion in a second to accept this slate. If you would like to make a motion to accept, please type the word "motion" into the message box for me. And we have a motion to accept from Linda Gagnon Horn. Thank you very much. If you would like to second that motion, please type the word "second" into the message box. And we have a second from Daniel Urich. Thank you very much. We received a first and a second to approve this slate of delegates and alternates. Are there any questions or comments or debate about any of this? Please type "I want to speak" into the message box. We'll get you through. Doesn't look like there are any. So you'll be presented with a vote to vote for, against, or abstain. Again, you'll have about 2 minutes to get this done. We'll present you with this vote on your screen right now. Can go ahead and stop the music. Everybody has voted. Congratulations. I think you guys are the first jurisdiction to get everybody to vote. Congratulations. We'll show you the results of this vote now. For the consideration of the national delegates and alternates, we had 48 total votes, 47 voted for, none against, one is abstained. That is on your screen now, I believe. Delegates and alternates, thank you very much for your willingness to serve. Congratulations. This slate is now approved as that motion has carried. Thank you all very much for your willingness to serve. Best of luck to each of you over the next 4 years in service to this jurisdiction. We will now move forward with some new business. If there's any new business that the jurisdiction needs to consider, you would type "I want to speak" into the message box. I am aware of a resolution that we have prepared, and I'll go ahead and read that for you now. For the purpose of maintaining the award of the Northeast Jurisdiction Scholarship every 2 years, The Northeast Jurisdiction Scholarship Committee shall meet at a date set at the current Northeast Jurisdictional Convention that is approximately 2 years after the current convention, as well as meeting at the next Northeast Jurisdictional Convention. Woodmen Life members shall be informed of the specified date as soon as possible after the current Northeast Jurisdiction Convention and no later than 6 months prior to the Scholarship Committee meeting date. Applications for the jurisdictional scholarship must be received by the deadline set by the Scholarship Committee. The Scholarship Committee shall meet in person or by phone at or shortly after the specified date. The recommendation of the scholarship awards determined at this meeting shall be included in the Scholarship Committee report, which shall be forwarded to the jurisdictional president. The jurisdictional president will, by a majority vote of the current jurisdictional officers, approve the scholarship awards. Chapters shall be encouraged to make donations to the scholarship at least yearly, and if that cannot be done, prior to the Scholarship Committee meeting and prior to the next convention. The procedure for awarding scholarships at the Northeast Jurisdictional Convention shall not be changed. If you would like to make a motion to accept this resolution, please type the word motion into the message box. And we have a motion from Robert Brasso. Thank you very much. If you would like to second that motion, please type the word second into the message box. And we have a second from Margaret Gurick. Thank you very much. Before we go to a vote, are there any questions, any debate, anything you'd like to say about this resolution? If so, please type "I want to speak" into the message box. We'll get you prompted through to make your comments. Again, any comments or debate about this resolution, please type "I want to speak" into the message box. We'll get you prompted through. All right, we've got Linda Gagnon-Horn wants to speak. Linda, if you would please raise your hand, and they will find you and get you prompted through so that you can present to us. And I got a comment from Calvin Caston. If there's no Northeast jurisdiction and no jurisdictional convention, how can we do this? I believe the resolution says that this can be done by phone every 2 years after the convention. So look forward to more information about when that's going to be in 2023. All right, so Linda, I think you're still probably trying to unmute yourself. Linda, I know you've been unmuted, but we cannot hear you. So maybe you just want to type in your comments, and I'm happy to read them. Apparently your microphone's not working. You may need to change that. We'll wait just a little bit longer for Linda. Linda, we're going to wait on you. Don't worry. I think you're going to get a call from Mickey, who may try to help you get your microphone working. I do have a note that Carol Norton wants to speak. Carol, if you would please raise your hand, they'll be able to find you so that you can get unmuted and share with us. All right, we're waiting on Linda and Carol, just trying to get their microphones unmuted.
Okay, Linda and Carol, it might be a permissions issue. If you go to the top of your web browser, right where you would type in a web address, just to the left of that, there is a little icon that looks like a padlock. If you click on that icon that looks like a padlock, one of the options says allow for microphone. So please make sure that microphone option does say allow. That might be blocking you from speaking as well.
I've got a comment as well from Frederick Schinzel. Mr. Schinzel, if you would like, again, raise your hand. We'll try to get you unmuted so you can share your thoughts as well. Looks like Carol Norton wants to make a comment, and it was in response to Calvin. She says the committee would be meeting on the off years to select and process the scholarships. I hope that answers your question, sir. Thank you, Carol. So now we're just looking for Linda. I've got a note here from Linda that says, please add meet by computer. I don't know if our back room folks can help with that. All right, we're going to keep trying to get Linda through. If anybody else has any comments or debate, we'll sure try to get you unmuted as well. All right, Mr. Schinzel, I've got your comments here again. If you would raise your hand, we'll try to get you prompted through. Margaret Urick and Robert Brasso, I've got you guys as well. We'll try to do this in order. Hopefully we can get Linda, then Frederick, and then Margaret and Robert again. I'm being told that folks are connected by audio. We're trying to get them sorted out. Everybody's calling and texting. We'll be patient with you. Don't worry. We'll get everybody through as we can.
One more note, if that computer audio is not working, you can go back to the join audio button in your lower left-hand corner of your Zoom panel, and there is another option. You can leave computer audio, and you can click on the phone call option, and you can dial into the Zoom meeting on your phone call, and perhaps we can hear you speaking that way over the phone.
All right, so I'm going to skip around a little bit. Linda, don't worry, I will come back to you. Mr. Schinzel, if you had an opportunity to try to raise your hand and get unmuted. Linda is asking what the meeting ID is.
Yes, Linda, the meeting ID is 223-896-098, if that is needed.
Linda, that was 223-896-098. Margaret Urich, if you would please raise your hand. Maybe we can get you prompted through to make your presentation.
Hi, Linda, I do apologize. Can I give you a different meeting ID? If you are dialing in on your telephone, and it will ask you for a meeting ID on the telephone, the meeting ID for anyone dialing in on the telephone is 915-7962-4387.
All right, if you're dialing on the phone, I'll read that number again, 915-796-24387. All right, so we're waiting on Linda and Frederick and Margaret. Mr. Grosso, if you want to try again, looks like you've got some comments as well. Go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll try to get you unmuted as well, sir. All right, remember we're working on debate about the resolution. Changing that so that the scholarship committee can meet every 2 years to give everybody an opportunity to receive that scholarship. All right, Margaret, are you there? I'm told that you may have gotten through. I'm sorry, but I don't think we can hear you, Margaret. We're going to keep trying, folks, so everybody can be heard.
Margaret, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try to promote you to
microphone here. Margaret, is that you?
Oh, yes. Hi.
I can hear you, Margaret.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for your persistence. Please go ahead and present.
Okay. I just wanted to say that I think it's very important for our jurisdiction to support our young people and their families in getting a further education and dealing with the costs of college. So I think that we should pass this resolution. I was on the scholarship committee for this convention, and we did it via the mail. Carol Norton did a wonderful job. So I do believe it can be done without great difficulty. So I encourage the jurisdiction to vote for this resolution.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your persistence, Miss Margaret.
Well, thank you for the help.
You're very welcome. All right, so we still have Linda and Robert. We'll try to get you guys prompted through as well.
Yes, Linda and Robert, I will do the same thing. I will make you a panelist. So you will see a black screen for 2 to 3 seconds, and then you will rejoin the meeting, and we will hopefully be able to hear you. So just 1 second.
I'm going to go to Linda first. She's been trying the longest. So Linda, as soon as you get your screen promotion, we're going to add you, and I'll go to you first.
Can you hear?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. Well, I can hear you just for a second. There you are.
Just wanted to add meeting electronically to the meeting in person or by phone. Just whatever language needs to be there to say meeting like this, a Zoom meeting or a webinar or whatever, but that the committee could meet that way if that's best.
Okay, and just for clarification for the minutes, would you please introduce yourself?
Linda Gagnon Horn.
Thank you very much, Linda. So Linda's comments are that the scholarship committee could meet electronically if necessary. We could certainly see how that could work. Thank you very much, Linda. Yes, ma'am. Now we'll go to Robert. Are you there, sir? Robert, is that you? We'll keep trying, sir. Hang on. And just as an update, Frederick Schinzel, it looks like your comments are going to be different than the resolution consideration. So I'm going to drop you back into new business once we're through with this vote, sir. Robert is saying his screen didn't come back when he was promoted to a panelist. Hang in there, Robert. We're going to keep working with you.
Yeah, we do not see Robert in the Zoom.
Maybe Robert, his computer is giving out on him.
Is he possibly on the phone? Robert, are you listening by phone?
We're trying to get a phone call to Robert now. We've had some success doing this. He says he is listening by phone. Robert, we're trying to get a phone call to you, so look for that coming right now.
Gentlemen, if he's listening by phone, could he post the last 4 digits?
We're going to keep trying to get Mr. Grasso so that we can get everybody's comments, and then we'll put this resolution to a vote. Thank you all very much for hanging in there with us.
Okay, Mr. Grasso, it looks like you should be able to unmute now. I believe you need to push *6 on your telephone keypad to unmute yourself.
All right, we've got another idea. We're going to try a different way to call. This has worked in the past, so Robert, we're going to try to get you through. Hang in there.
Robbie, I have Mr. DeGrasso here for you.
Mr. Grasso, can you hear me?
Let me turn my volume down on my other phone.
There you go.
Okay. I can hear now, yeah.
Wonderful. If you please introduce yourself and make your presentation, sir.
That's Robert Grasso, chapter 467.
Okay.
Just in line with what Linda Horn said, we can change the one line to basically say in person, by phone, by computer, and then or any other means.
Okay.
That would resolve, I think, this problem.
All right, wonderful. Mr. Grasso, I know you've got more that you want to bring up, so I'm going to ask you to stay exactly where you are, sir. Maybe just mute and unmute when we call on you next, but we will amend that resolution to include meeting electronically if necessary, okay?
Yes, yes.
All right, wonderful. All right.
Okay.
Any other comments about the resolution? We're going to amend it to say that the committee shall meet in person, by phone, or electronically as necessary. All right. Any other comments? Please type "I want to speak" into the message box. I appreciate everybody's persistence so much and your patience. Thank you. Thank you. All right. It doesn't look like there are any more comments, so we're going to go ahead and proceed with a vote. The vote for, against, or abstain will be presented to you next. You'll have about 2 minutes unless we get everybody's vote in quickly like you did last time. Hearing it. Make your vote now, folks. More seconds. We're waiting on one more vote. There we have it. Everybody has gotten their vote in. So we'll go ahead and close that vote, and we'll show you the results on your screen next. In consideration of the resolution, 46 have voted for, 1 against, none have abstained. That motion has carried. All right, thank you all very much for your patience and persistence through that. I appreciate it. And now, I know that Mr. Grasso has some new business for the jurisdiction to consider. Mr. Grasso, I hope you're still with us. If you would please unmute yourself and go ahead and introduce yourself and make your presentation, sir.
I apologize. I will get Mr. Grasso back right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Robbie, I have Mr. Grasso for you.
Hey, Mr. Grasso, please reintroduce yourself, sir, and make your presentation.
Yeah, my name is Bob Grasso, Lodge, actually Chapter 467.
All right,
and
thank
I'd like
you.
to make a suggestion for the problem we seem to have with the minutes.
Okay.
So I would like a committee set up to review the recordings of the 2019 Northeast Jurisdiction Convention that Calvin Castine made in order to add some information to the minutes of the convention. My concern is that a large portion of the minutes seem to be just a repeat of the convention agenda. While the minutes should not be a word-for-word repeat of everything that was said during the convention, it should be a short summary of what went on during the convention. For example, there's no description of the Fraternal Project. For this reason, I feel that more information needs to be added to the minutes, and a committee should be set up for this purpose.
Mr. Grasso, thank you very much for that. Would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Is there a second to his motion? If you would like to make a second, please type the word second into the message box. Sorry. And we have that from Linda Gagnon-Horn. Is there any discussion or debate about this, folks? If you have something you'd like to say about it, please type I want to speak into the message box, and we will do our very best to get you prompted through so you can make your comments. So we've got a first from Robert, a second from Linda, waiting on any comments. If you'd like to make some comments, please type I want to speak into the message box. So Mr. Grasso's motion is to create a committee to review the 2019 recordings and update the minutes to include things that may have been left out. Any more comments or questions? Again, this motion is to establish a committee to review and propose revisions to the 2019 Jurisdictional Convention minutes. We have a first and a second already. I'm just waiting for any more comments or debate. Also getting some updates about procedure. All right, we will put this to a vote, folks. Seeing no more questions, you'll get an option to vote for, against, or abstain to support a committee to review the 2019 jurisdictional convention minutes and make necessary updates. They are creating that right now, so just give us just a second. I know it's coming, folks. Hang on. We'll get a vote for, against, or abstain. And we'll give you a full 2 minutes. Unless you get to 100% again, you guys have been great at that. Been able to end these votes early. I don't know if we had another convention like that. And don't worry, Mr. Shinzo, we will get to you as soon as this vote takes place, sir. All right. The vote will be on your screen next. To vote for, against, or abstain, you've got about 2 minutes. That starts now. Well, there we go. We've got all the votes in. We'll go ahead and close the vote. Well done, Northeast. We'll present you with the results on your screen next. For the second resolution to create a committee to review the 2019 jurisdictional convention minutes, we had 44 vote for, 2 against, 2 have abstained. That motion has carried. Thank you all very much. All right, so I understand Fred Schinzel wants to still get in. Fred, I hope that you've had an opportunity to get your audio sorted out. Are you there, sir? We've got a message that we're getting with Frederick right now, so we'll give him just a second to get through. All right, just got a note that they're working with him.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
From chapter 467.
Thank you very much, Lucille. You may need to turn off your other audio, but we hear you very well.
Okay.
Working on
And hold on, we're working on it. Don't break the computer. Hold on. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
I'm calling about, since we lost Salesforce at 467 and the Northeast.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're having trouble getting people to work with our products. We have been calling the main office, leaving phone numbers, and nobody calls back to talk about our products. What we're looking for is probably a direct phone number and a person to contact.
Okay.
So we have zero Salesforce.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
I can't hear him.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Miss Lucille?
No, wait a minute. Something happened here. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you just fine.
All right.
Miss Lucille, thank you very much.
I'm waiting for an answer from you.
Oh, well, I mean, certainly I don't have a direct number to give to you right here. But I will pass this on and we'll make sure to get this addressed for you, okay?
Because it really is a big problem because, God willing, you come back to this area, you don't want to lose the people you have at least in place now.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. So am I right that you're with Frederick? Because this is the same kind of things that he was speaking about?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
And it's not like we haven't tried to call. We have, and nobody calls back.
Well, let me apologize for that. It's certainly not something we like to hear, but I will pass this up and we'll get this worked on for you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for sharing. Is there any other new business that anybody needs to bring before the jurisdiction? And if you would just type "I want to speak" in the message box, we'll do our best to get you prompted through. All right, well, hearing no more new business, we will move. Oh, Robert Grasso. All right, Robert, do you still have your connection, sir? Go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get you unmuted so that you can share with us.
Okay, here we go. We have Mr. Grasso again.
All right, Mr. Grasso, please introduce yourself and let us know what you want to say.
Just want to turn down my volume here. In light of the problems we've had with the audio, I'd like to make a suggestion that when we sort of sign in the day before the convention, for future purposes, hopefully we don't have to do this again, but for future purposes, maybe the audio should be tested while we're logging on to test our connection.
Okay. I'm with you. I hope that we don't have to do this again, but we'll take that.
Resolve the problem. But
Yeah, we'll certainly take that suggestion under advisement. Thank you very much, sir. Looks like Carol Norton has a question. Miss Carol, if you would please raise your hand, we'll get you unmuted and let you share with us.
I've lost my hand. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. If you would please introduce yourself.
Right.
I figured it out, that little lot key, and then it says allow, and then it says allow women, so that's how I got in.
That's great. Hey, Mr. Martin, please, if you would introduce yourself first.
Oh, Carol Norton.
Yes, ma'am. The floor is yours. Go right ahead.
And we had 47 people with credentials, and we're getting a vote of 48.
Okay, so yeah, maybe there was one more that came in after the announcement of the quorum. I think it's okay for you to
verify.
I could ask the back room if we've got 48 verified, but my experience says that that's what has happened in the past. So I think it's okay for you to put down 48. One person may have caught on. There's actually I'm getting a note now that we've got 49 logged on, but when we declared the quorum at 47, you can just make that note. All right.
Okay, I'll make that change.
Thank you very much. All right, folks, is there any more new business? All right, well, I'm hoping there's no more. I haven't got any notices. So we'll move forward with the installation of officers. We are pleased and privileged to have our CEO install these officers and delegates and alternates. Please join me in re-welcoming Mr. Pat Dees.
Thank you very much, Robbie. And, in the opening, I said this is our 20th convention and 19 have gone very well. Well, I'm going to have to change that for this afternoon when we meet with Virginia. There were some technical challenges today, and I'm very much on the same page with you, Ms. Grasso. I think any future opportunity we have that we must use a platform like this, we got to test it all the way through. So I appreciate that comment. Otherwise, thank you for your patience. It is technology. I can tell you from where we stand right here to be the ultimate myth buster is that this is not the format that we choose to use for jurisdictional conventions or even a national convention for that matter. We will this cycle due to COVID restrictions and challenges, but we'll be together in 2025. And I think as Mr. Shealy said, we're a little behind on some handshakes and hugs, and I know that everyone would prefer to be together. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate the interaction and the commentary. There's a couple of things that actually makes this organization, great. And Mr. Ellis, in the beginning, he talked about the significant historic events that Woodmen Life has managed itself through over the years. This pandemic will go in the record books as one of those. But one of the things that really the pandemic has continued to prove true is just how relevant there is for a need for what we do. Our organization, the two things that make us special is our representative form of governance that we've actually jurisdiction has just elected their slate of officers and representation for the National Convention. We also have our internal fraternal program. We have business operations, so we've got the business side and we've got the fraternal side. The business side, it's, the net income from those operations that help to fund what we do and the good works we do on the fraternal side. The pandemic had really highlighted the challenges that our communities have faced, individuals have faced. And with all of my respect and appreciation, we have many of our members that work in the medical field or as a first responder or in a role that's considered essential for community support and service. So if you or your households are represented within that, express my gratitude and that of Woodmen Life for the work that you've done in this pandemic. Not every individual has an opportunity to say that they were able to work from home. And for those heroes, we're very grateful and thankful. Also want to thank Mickey Pennington for what he has been able to do to try to help facilitate those things, even though we've been working remote. There's going to come a time, and it's not that far off in the distant future, that we're going to be ready and able to get back to work in our communities. And, I know that everyone is anxious to do that, and I know that our communities need us. I did want to highlight something that was in the president's video before I do the installation here in just a moment. Is I talked about this accidental death benefit product that is being rolled out around the country. Part of the ongoing challenges with particularly with the state of New York with product is, we had previously had a very limited product offering. Product review and approval was very onerous in that state of New York. We have been able to get this product approved and ready for the residents of New York. So the accidental death benefit product will first be offered by direct communication by mail and electronically to our existing members in the Northeast. And that should be, something that you will see if you're part of that original wave of communication is in the middle part of May. But what's really important and interesting is that the next phase of that product launch would be that it would be available to anyone, whether they're an existing Woodmen Life member or not. And so there we would be able to have a product that is very inexpensive, very simple to get, either electronically or direct, that you would be able to encourage other friends, family members, and those in your community to take it, become a part of your local chapter as we would go forward. So I thank you for what you do. I thank you for your continued commitment to family, community, and country. And now I will go and proceed with the official installation of officers. So those officers and delegates and alternates that were just elected, if you just kind of raise your hand there in place, we'll do the official installation. So officers-elect, the members of the Northeast jurisdiction, having confidence in your abilities and integrity, have elected you to serve them during the next 4 years in an official capacity. Your election to your respective office is very important to the members of this jurisdiction. Your leadership role in this jurisdiction is critical in support of Woodmen Life's mission. Remember, leadership is not about division, but about unity. And leadership is not power, but about service. Leadership originates not from vanity, but from empathy. And leadership is not about me, it's about us. You should set the example for others to follow and let the members of this jurisdiction see that your actions speak louder than your words. You're about to be empowered to carry out the wishes of this jurisdiction and the laws of Woodmen Life. The reputation and standing of this jurisdiction is in your keeping. Harmony and cooperation will be a certainty if you act with judgment, moderation, and charity. Do not hesitate to act when action is needed, and do not hesitate to speak when words of advice, encouragement, and direction are needed. Each of you accept the office to which you've been elected, this jurisdiction counts on you to faithfully perform your duties to the best of your ability. In mind and in heart, you should serve every chapter in this jurisdiction. Be mindful of the duties of your office and be supportive to those who need advice and assistance. And by the power vested in me as the installing officer, I hereby declare each of you duly elected and installed into your respective office. And so a brief round of applause for those who have committed to continue to serve this jurisdiction. I appreciate your continued engagement and service. And President Ellis, as you continue in the office of President, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate you. You're in every way worthy of the honor conferred upon you by this jurisdiction. You served the chapter well and the members of this jurisdiction. I know that the Northeast jurisdiction is in safe and capable hands, and now with my best wishes and every confidence in your success, we all look forward to a great jurisdictional convention in the spring of 2025. So ordinarily, at this time, we would be presenting the president and past president's pin, obviously impossible in electronic format, so we will ship those direct to you for your receipt. And so from here, I'm going to introduce a video clip and this is from Dr. Jim Shaver, who is the chair of the board's fraternal committee. He's going to be asking for your input and your feedback. He'll also share with you how you will be able to get jurisdictional gift. That's a tradition from when we meet in person. So onto the video from Dr. Shaver.
On behalf of your board of directors, thank you for attending the 2021 Jurisdictional Convention. These conventions have long been the way we elected our leaders and have served as the voice of our members. You may recall 2 years ago, we rolled out a plan to move from jurisdictional conventions to annual regional events. We got a lot of feedback after we rolled that out, and you let us know in a loud and clear voice that you wanted to continue holding jurisdictional conventions. Well, we heard you, and we will continue holding jurisdictional conventions every 4 years in national convention years. We will hold regional events the 3 years in between. Now, we want these future events and conventions to be fun, informational, inspirational, engaging, and inclusive. So we're going to need your help. Each attendee from this jurisdictional convention will receive a survey via email from Woodmen Life. It's important that we get 100% response in these surveys so that we can build your future conventions and events to exceed your expectations. We look forward to getting your responses and putting them to work. At the end of the survey, you'll find a link that will allow you to choose your convention gift. Please note, you must complete the survey in order to get a convention gift. Thank you for choosing Woodmen Life to protect your family. Thank you for being leaders in your chapters and your jurisdiction. And thank you for what you do in your communities. Stay safe, and God bless.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Shaver. President Dees, I'm going to pass a question to you, sir, that we've gotten from Calvin Castine. He says that the society used to have fraternal memberships. I think he's talking about social members for folks who are uninsurable. At the last convention, we were asked about being able to add fraternal members to our chapter since everyone in New York State was now essentially uninsurable. And they've not gotten a response to that question from 2019. I was wondering if you could address that, please, sir.
Sure, glad to, Robbie. And that's an excellent question. The board's fraternal committee actually will meet next week, and I will add that discussion to the agenda. The social membership had been sunset some years ago, but with the pursuit of the inexpensive accidental death benefit product, we'll take a look and see whether or not that'd be a good balance. But I'd certainly be willing to consider that. Thank you for bringing that forward.
Thank you, sir. So Northeast jurisdiction, this was your very first electronic convention with a lot of persistence and patience. You did a fantastic job. Thank you. Before we discuss adjourning, I want to remind you the email that Dr. Shaver talked about that had the link to the survey and the convention gift, that should be coming your way on Tuesday of this week. So please look for that email so you can give us your feedback and select your gift. All right. I now need a motion to adjourn this meeting. If you would like to make a motion to adjourn, please type the word motion into the message box for me. And we have a motion to adjourn from Linda Gagnon Horn. Thank you very much. If you would like to make a second to that motion, please type the word second in the message box. We've gotten that right away from Brittany Bowen. Thank you, Brittany. Is there any more discussion? Anything anybody would like to say before we put this to a vote? And we've got some, Ed Siebel has a question. Ed, if you'd raise your hand, they'll get you prompted through so you can ask your question, sir. if you're having trouble with the audio, Ed, you're welcome to type your question. I'm happy to read it and get you the best answer I can.
We've promoted Ed to a panelist, so
Okay.
Ed, please try to unmute if you can.
All right, Ed, we're going to wait just as long as we need to for you. Again, Ed, if you would like to just type in your question, I'm happy to read it and get you an answer if you're struggling with the audio. But we're going to wait as long as we need to. Ed, it looks like we're going to get a call to you to see if we can't three-way call you in. That's had some success with some other folks, so if you'll sit tight, we'll get you that phone call.
Ed, you might have to rejoin the audio by clicking that join audio blue button on the Zoom in your window.
Linda Gagnon-Horn has asked a question. Can we get a list of the delegates attending this convention? Absolutely. We'll get that to you. Look for that list from your community outreach advisor, Mickey Pennington. Ed, I got your note that speaker's not working. They're going to go ahead and try to get a three-way call to you. Hopefully that'll work here shortly.
His question is on the board.
All right, Ed's on the phone here. Here he comes.
All right, Ed, can you hear me?
Suffolk County, Long Island.
Hey, Ed, we didn't have video or the audio up high enough. Can you reintroduce yourself, sir?
Sorry, start over.
We hear you perfect now. Go ahead and start from the beginning and introduce yourself.
My name is Ed Siebel. I'm in Suffolk County, Long Island. And based on everything that's been happening and the problems with the computer system that we have, if on Tuesday we do not have the questionnaire, is there a procedure we should follow to get the questionnaire sent to us? A trouble line, a telephone number, something?
You would. Yes, sir. The answer, you give a call to Mickey Pennington, and Mickey will make sure you get that. He has the ability to get with us, and we'll send you a direct email and make sure you get it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for getting through to us. Are there any other questions? Anything anybody wants to say before we go to a vote? We've got a first and a second. And hearing no more discussion, we'll present you with a vote to adjourn or not. You can abstain, I guess. We'll present you with that vote right now, folks. Go ahead and let's get them done. Looks like you guys did it again. All the votes are in. We will go ahead and close the vote. Congratulations. All the votes are in. You will show you the results of that vote to adjourn or not on your screen next. We had 49 votes to adjourn, none against, none have abstained. That motion is carried. I now declare this meeting officially closed. Northeast Jurisdiction, thank you all so much for taking the time to be with us today. We've really enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and we look forward to seeing you all very soon in person. Thanks so much, folks.